I'm on today with the 125 expert vintage national motocross champion, Jerry Maddox. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to know, what is vintage motocross? Like, tell us about it.
Well, it's kind of cool. It's old motorcycles being brought back in time to race them again. It's that simple. There's a organization called AHRMA. The acronym is AHRMA. It's American History Racing Motorcycle Association, and they're the jurisdiction for the national championship of racing these really old motorcycles. So the definition of vintage in my case is 1975 or before motorcycles. I want to be clear. It's the motorcycle that's vintage. The racer can be any age. It can be vintage like me, or might be a 15-year-old kid.
Okay. So how did you come to do this? Like, what was the process?
Well, normally I'm racing what we call modern day motocross bikes on, current bikes. And our local track is going to be hosting, or was told they were going to be hosting, the nationals for vintage. And it got me and one of my friends thinking about, wow, wouldn't that be cool to go back in time and find one of those old bikes and race it again? That would be just like reliving your childhood again. And so the short story is that's what I did. I went and started the process of trying to figure out how to get a bike.
Yeah.
And what to do with it, and just how much fun would it be to go back and recreate those childhood memories. Because for me, that's when my racing started, was 1975, literally. So to go back in time, that's going back to that's the genesis of me in motocross.
Can you talk to me about the process of acquiring the vintage bike and then taking it to race ready as a bike?
Oh, if you'd asked me that the day I thought this was a good idea, it would be a different answer than now. The answer now is that's a real struggle, and it's a journey. And getting the bike was a matter of searching out sources. You don't go to the dealer and just buy one of these things. You have to find one. Somebody either has one, it's for sale, it's on eBay, it's on social media, it's on some sort of a used car lot somewhere. It might be what we call a barn find. You have to go seek out these motorcycles. And then when you find them, guess what? They're not perfect motorcycles. They're just old 48-year-old motorcycles, and they have to be fixed up. And that process for me, I found the bike. And
can you tell us about the bike? What kind of bike do we have here?
Well, first, let me say this. I chose to ride the 125 expert class because when I first started as a kid, I was racing a 125.
Yeah.
And so back then in 1974 or 1975, the best 125 money could buy was Honda's brand new to the world CR125M Elsinore. That's what we have here is an old 1974 CR125M Elsinore, the best of the best back in its day.
Yeah. Beautiful bike.
Yeah, it is. And just for those that are watching need to know, that's where Honda motocross started. That's it. These kids that are out here riding brand new Honda motorcycles today, that's version 1 of it right there. So it's pretty cool.
Did you need to train or practice to get yourself ready to ride this bike?
I did. There was 2 steps. First, acquire the bike. Well, let's say 3 steps. First, acquire the bike. Yeah. I did. Fix the bike up, and this bike was in boxes and pieces, and we had to take the bike apart completely, disassemble, check everything, replace all the parts on it, anything that had to be done just to get a running motorcycle out of it. That was a journey before we ever made it to the first practice session. And then when it come time to actually ride the bike, it's been 48 years since I've ridden a motorcycle like this. So I'm not exactly used to it. And it had not been ridden in years and years and years. So we started looking for a place to practice. And that's when we came upon JJ Rails MX Park near Dillsboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
And I went over one day with the old bike, and Josh and Heather Phillips, the owners, were so impressed with what I had done with this old bike. And I'm telling them, hey, I may make a try at racing this thing someday. Not racing for the national championship, just go to a race.
Yeah.
And so they said, Jerry, we got you back. You can have our place 100% of the time. Just come anytime you want and train.